Good people, what's going on? Episode 50, the Dome Podcast. Look, man. So, obviously, we've had a lot of conversations today on Twitter. And I thought I would take it to video to discuss a few things, kind of tired of typing. Um, but, again, in some conversation today about Jay-Z, someone said the same narrative. Oh, man, Jay-Z took advantage of Biggie and Pac dying, and that's how he blew up, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, how many years are we gonna still listen to this narrative about Jay-Z saw a gap or a lane when Big and Pop died, and that's how he became who he was? Okay, so what happens in life when something happens and a door opens up? That's like at your job. Let's say a position open up that's the next level higher than yours, or a department head position open up, and you've been grinding all these years. Do you not put your resume in to try to get that interview? Okay, you the sixth man on the team and the starter got hurt. You've been grinding. Do you not put the work in practice so you can take that spot now? And if you get that spot like Tom Brady did back with Drew Bledsoe, right, he becomes a legend, right? What Eminem say? Don't lose yourself. You get one chance, right? You might only get one chance. So what did Jay-Z say on Volume 1? The city is mine. What's the deal, Playboy? You know what I'm saying? When he said that, he talking to Big, like, yo, I'm going to hold it down, yo. You know what I'm saying? What did Jay-Z supposed to do? Pac died in 1996, right? So then when Pac died in 1996, Biggie is finishing up life after death. And I'm thinking Biggie is probably looking at like, 96 was kind of Tupac year. Nas was large too, but Tupac overall had, All Eyes on Me, like 5-6 million, and then Machiavelli bombing on everybody doing that summer, hit them up, all of this stuff. When We Ride. Biggie looking at it like, all right, well, 97 my year, then I'm taking over. That's why Biggie bombed on everybody on kicking the door and, what's beef and long kiss goodnight and all that. He was like, I'm taking it back over again. You know what I'm saying? I got to go over top of Nas and everybody else. Pop gone. You know what I'm saying? Big, unfortunately, get killed. I still hate that situation, even think about it. I still watch documentaries about why did Big go to L.A.? Why did Big Kiss sing Long Kiss Goodnight at the radio station? Why was he walking around in L.A. like it was sweet? It just still bogs my mind. Same way it bogs my mind. Why didn't people jump in front of Pac and, not let him wild out in the MGM? But nevertheless, Big die. What Jay-Z do? Jay-Z does Volume 1, say the city is mine. Jay-Z does Volume 1. You can tell that he studied life after death. He's trying to get that perfect balance because obviously Reasonable Doubt is just street poetry. Deep lyrics, the evils cannot live, dead presidents, bring it on, whatever. He know that I'm trying to take over the game now. I do have to branch out. I do have to get on the radio and in the club. I mean, he had Ain't No Nigga, you know what I'm saying, and Kate Lock the Hustle got in the clubs. But a lot of Reasonable Doubt was on mixtapes, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But he knew that with Volume 1, I got to step up now to try to step my name a little bit now. With, Big and Pac gone. Yes, he still saw the competition. He said on Volume 1 who the best MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas, so he was already acknowledging that Nas is there. You know what I'm saying? So I got to take him down too in a sort of kind of way, even though I respect Nas. At the time, it showed pictures of them together a few times. It showed, they had somewhat of a late relationship, but of course, the rumor was, Nas and AZ supposed to have been on maybe Bring It On, and then I think another rumor was they wanted Nas on, Jay wanted Nas on what, maybe Can I Live or to do Dead Presidents with him. I mean, there's a lot of different rumors with that. But we know he did want Nas on Reasonable Doubt, and he did talk about Nas on Volume 1. So he acknowledged Nas was there. You know what I'm saying? But Jay saw the lane. You know what I'm saying? Now, not saying the lane wasn't going to be there even if Big and Pac survived. Because, again, we talked about this before. It's common knowledge that Jay-Z and Biggie was going to do the commission. So they had already done, Brooklyn's Finest and I Love the Dough and Young G's on No Way Out, whatever. They was cool. You know, Jay Z was on Big Mama thing or whatever on Lil Kim debut, so they was rocking together. He was going. They was doing the joint with They was doing a commission. So even though Pac is alive, Big is alive, Jay Z and Biggie are in a group together. You know what I'm saying? And I told my man Kill, shout out to Kill. There's always been room for two in every genre of music. 1998, 1999, DMX and Jay Z were the largest rappers. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, at some point, Eminem became massive, all this stuff. But I'm just talking about for some hip hop purists, Hard Knock Life tour, backstage, all that. DMX and Jay Z both co-headlining. I went to it. You know what I'm saying? And Michael Jackson Prince was launched at the same time. You know, Whitney Houston was launched at the same time as whoever, Hall and Oates, whoever. I mean, they're, you know, in that Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles and all these guys was launched at the same time. So there's always been room for two. Biggie and Pop was at top at the same time for the most part. So there's always been room for two. And I always try to tell people that there's never been somebody single by themselves, dominate like really no genre of music. Even when Michael Jackson was major the king of pop on the female end, Madonna was the largest female. Now Mike might have been the largest person, but you still had Madonna, you still had Prince, you still had like all these big artists. The Rolling Stones were still touring. You know what I'm saying? So and even at one point when when Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder and all them guys was large, the Beatles was massive. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Eagles, all that. So it's always been room for multiple giants. You know what I'm saying? So Big and Jay Z would have been giants together. Pop would have still been a giant. He was doing the One Nation album. He was still going to do his thing. But nevertheless, they both passed away. People were going to try. You don't think Nas was gunning for the title? You know what I'm saying? Even in summer '96 when It Was Written dropped, you got to imagine It Was recorded probably winter '95 and spring '96. So during the same time, Tupac released All Eyes on Me in that spring of '96. You know what I'm saying? So how did Nas do It Was Written? He started the album out. Fake thug, no love, you get the slugs. See, before gusto, you look low. I didn't know till I was drunk though. You freak niggas played out. You know, whatever. Rumors was he was dissing Biggie right there. But then he said Lex with TV says the minimum. Dead president Jay Z with the Lex. You know what I'm saying? So was Nas coming out bombing on everybody? He also was bombing on Pac song. You heard that freestyler finally got released. He was throwing shots back at Pac too. So Nas was coming for the title in spring in early '96, summer '96. It was written. He was coming for the title. You know what I'm saying? That's what Nas was doing. Now, yeah, Nas ended up saying on I Am on We Will Survive, and they claimed to be New York's king. It ain't about that. But Nas, you did It Was Written, and you was spitting venom through It Was Written. And then when you did The Firm and you did I Am, you have a picture of yourself as a pharaoh on the front on I Am. You was taking over. Nas is like, you know what I'm saying? You was calling yourself basically with the firm, the God. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z did the same thing. He said the streets is watching. He said the city is mine. He did Where I'm From. And yo, saying the city is mine is like Jay-Z always did a lot of foreshadowing. Just like I said on the last video when I talked about the song Reach the Top, the 1994 joint that Jay-Z did. He was predicting his future. And even though in my lifetime, no nigga in rap getting bigger than me, I mean, you know, he always was saying where he was going. He was saying that while Big and Pop was alive. You know what I'm saying? So when the lane opened, I guess he might have been looking at like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm gonna say the city is mine, and then after that, I'm gonna put the work in to take over the city. Because, like I said today on Twitter, Jay-Z went platinum in 1997, the year that Biggie died. He only went one time platinum with Volume One, but that's still good after coming from basically an independent album with Reasonable Doubt. And in the middle of a flooded 1996 Reasonable Doubt, 1997 you got Mace and Puff and everybody killing the game, and Jay still went platinum with Puff and Mace running the game. 1998, DMX pops off in the spring with It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. Jay-Z still watering up. The streets is watching. John, I think stuff ended up coming out. But then the VHS, I remember that joint. But then the Hard Knock Life joint, 45 King, rest in peace. He gets the streaks with the Hard Knock Life, and then finally the perfect balance. The Hard Knock Life album, 5 million sold. He gave you the Can I Get Her, you know what I'm saying, Jigga What, Jigga Who, the Hard Knock Life theme song, Money Ain't a Thing with Jermaine Dupri. But then for the hip hop heads, he got the joint was Too Short. He got It's Like That or whatever with Kid Capri. You know, he got Coming of Age 2 with Bleak Street Banger. So Hard Knock Life gave you the perfect balance. Jay-Z becomes the star. So now Jay-Z and DMX become the biggest people in rap. Nas ended up being large again in 1999, dropping I Am and Nostradamus. But that's when he did say that this is several months after Jay-Z's Volume 2 and 5 million. Nas puts We Will Survive on I Am. And he disses Jay-Z for the most part on We Will Survive. And they claim to be New York's king. It ain't about that. Because Jay-Z was basically Hova now. You know what I'm saying? So they solidly now in 1999 battling for the king of New York. I think DMX on his own, whatever. You know, some people might thought DMX was the king at the time, but as far as like the Nas and J stuff started simmering in because they both wanted to be the king of New York. Let's be serious. Every great MC in New York always called themselves the king in some kind of way. Rakim Allah, then Big Daddy Kane, King Asiatic. You know what I'm saying? You know, G Rap the street king, you know what I'm saying? And KRS the teacher. And he always thought he was the Don of New York. You know what I'm saying? So the battle for New York has always been there. It's never nothing new. Even before that, yeah, L Cool J and Kumo D. You know what I'm saying? Before that, you had Kumo D and Busy B in Harlem World. You know what I'm saying? So the battle for New York has always been there. Always been there. You know what I'm saying? When has it not? You know what I'm saying? It's always been a competitive thing when it came to the greatest MCs in New York. Jay-Z is no exception. Jay-Z said the city is mine and I'm going for the crown. And by volume 2, a lot of people will say he had it. He said by volume 3, he like, come and get me. You know what I'm saying? And then Nas on the same time on Nostradamus, come and get me, basically. You know what I'm saying? It starts. It just so happens that with the commercial success of Volume 2, Jay-Z ended up getting the edge. You know what I'm saying? So the city is mine foreshadowed everything that he wanted to happen. Then, of course, that leads up several years later to Stillmatic and Blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And what did Nas say on Ether? The king is back. You know what I'm saying? Nas said the king is back. Nas said years before that on what the firm joint, what's that, Firm Action remix? I think I knocked the crown off the so-called king of the town and lock it down. Was that not that big? And then Big comes back with Kick in the Door. You know what I'm saying? It was always a battle for the top of New York. Like Tony, you know what I'm saying? Top of New York, Capone Noriega. Shout out to Capone Noriega, the War Report, baby. That's my joint. You know what I'm saying? But it was always a battle for that. You know what I'm saying? So Jay-Z saying the city's mine. What was wrong with that? He knew at some point he's going to have to go through everybody to be the king of New York. You know what I'm saying? He knew Biggie is gone. So another thing I said during this tweet today was, okay, Pac Big passed away. What's everybody else supposed to do? You got Jay-Z, you got Nas, and hip hop, you got Cash Money, you got No Limit. You eventually had Nelly, Ja Rule, Eminem, and then at some point 50 Cent. Didn't 50 Cent become the king of New York when Get Rich dropped? Yes. And we know the stories about that. We know when Jay-Z turned to Bleak and everybody in the room and said, hey, they heard in the club, he's coming. He's coming. He's here. Hey, Irv Goddard said the same thing, and he revisited that. It showed a clip of Irv Goddard saying when he heard in the club, he looked at John and everybody and said, "We have a problem." You know what I'm saying? But 50 became the king of New York, but Get Rich came out. You know what I'm saying? There's been a king of New York or a king of New York battle since the early '80s. You don't think Mel and Mel thought he was the king? You don't think Mo D thought he was the king? You don't think in the first era of hip hop, you don't think Grandmaster Caz thought he was the king? Do you think LL Cool J was the king? Ron called himself the king of rock. Ron thought he was the king for real, calling cats sucker MCs in like 84, 85. You know what I'm saying? So why is this thing of people saying that was mad at Jay-Z on Volume 1? They're like, man, he think he finna take over. Of course. Why would he not? The city is mine. You know what I'm saying? Now you stop it. He even threw shots at Mace, imaginary player. Because one could say for a quick, short period of time, Mace was probably kind of the king of New York real quick. Before DMX took over in like spring of 1998, you can surmise 1997, Mace might have been the king of New York. Harlem World was 4-5 million. No Way Out ended up being large. Mace and Puff on all the biggest songs. And he started throwing shots at Mace on Volume 1 and then kind of continued on Volume 2, Hard Knock Life. Tell him basically in so many words, you sing your video, you always be number 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what it was. Jay was slowly trying to chop people down. And I think he was taking that City Is Mine to heart. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all want people to do? You know what I'm saying? When lanes open up, what do you think MC is going to do? 50 Cent came through, busting through. You know what I'm saying? After 50 Cent, you still had Kanye at some point. Lil Wayne bust through in like 2007, 2008, did like 100 features. Try to become the goat of hip hop. We're not talking about the king of New York right now, but I'm just saying in general. When you say the city is mine, you could be talking about the city of New York. You could be talking about whatever city you from. You could be talking about the city of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to take over. You know what I'm saying? Drake, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, all these guys call themselves. I remember J. Cole called himself the God before all these dudes do. You think Griselda wasn't trying to take over New York? You think the way Conway and Benny rap that they weren't trying to so-called take over New York? Jadakiss done tried to take over before. At one point when Jadakiss first did Knock Yourself Out and all that, Jadakiss ended up being a man in the mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? And Jadakiss threw shots at Jay-Z because Jay-Z was jacking his, like the Fiesta joint, the Best of Me with Maya and all that. Jay was playing hardball to get on top and to stay on top, and made some enemies. And the Rockefeller versus the Locks and all that stuff happened because everybody battling for supremacy. Just like when Styles P said, "How the fuck you to rock when your leader is soft?" You know what I'm saying? Like, so Jay had to take some shots too, because like he said, years later, most kings get their heads cut off. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be the king, you get your head cut off. Same way right now with all these crazy narratives about now all of a sudden revisionist history. Jay-Z just wasn't that dude or one of them dudes and stuff like that because, Twitter, Jay-Z is young MC to Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put some of them guys in their place sometimes because some of them wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I was there. So Jay-Z is one of the greatest MCs of all time. Some people think he's the greatest. He's always going to be on that Mount Rushmore because you have to look at the resume, dog. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I think it was very dope when he said the city is mine. And truthfully, I actually like the song The City Is Mine also. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a nice little joint for the radio because he was spitting on Volume 1. You go back right now, if you just, let's say you don't like The City Is Mine and you don't like that, I know what girls like or something like that with Puff and Lil Kim and all them. Take that off and take Sunshine off. Out of 14 songs, 11 of them heat. So Volume 1 is some of Jay-Z's best rapping. And then Volume 2, it kind of takes over with X. So, yeah, man, The City Is Mine is kind of where it go, man. What did you want the man to do? Again, I told you about if you're an athlete and a lane opened up or injury happened, something happened, what are you supposed to do? You're not supposed to take advantage of the situation. And I ain't even saying take advantage of the situation. Jay-Z learned how to do one thing. He learned how to make records. You know what I'm saying? If you can make records for the streets, for the radio, for the clubs, you're going to win. Why do you think 50 was winning so many years? He could make songs for all of that. Kanye could make songs for all of that. Lil Wayne could make songs for all of that. Drake can make songs for all of that. These are some of your biggest people right here because they learned the art of making dope music, dope albums, dope projects. You know what I'm saying? That's how you stay on top. Jay-Z learned how to make dope music, not just the Reasonable Doubt for your rapping and rap, boom bap niggas. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z learned how to make records You know what I'm saying? And that's what sustains. I've gone to Jay-Z parties and they play only Jay-Z music. I went to Charlotte one year and they had a Reasonable Doubt party, but they play all Jay-Z for like 2.5, 3 hours of hits and B-sides and everything. You know what I'm saying? Because he made records. Lane opened up, Big and Pop passed away. Jay-Z make records, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, him saying the city is mine opened up a can of worms because I think Nas took offense to that. Nas showed that, but Nas also was calling himself the king on It Was Written. He was going at everyone on It Was Written. He was throwing subliminals on It Was Written because everybody want to be the king of New York, especially anybody from Brooklyn, Queens, all of that stuff. They want to be the king. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of the way it is, man. But that's all, man. Episode 20 in the books, man. Peace, people.